This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Audible. Coming up, it's been over a decade since the original, and now the boys and girls are back for an American reunion.
Today in movies, we are going to talk about American Reunion, but as you see, Jeff is up in Portland, couldn't make it.
Magically turned
Jeff got a
into-
whole lot prettier.
Jeff,
or something like
Jeff
that.
definitely got a whole lot
That would
prettier.
have been a better joke.
We are joined by TV's Alison Haislip,
Yes.
who
Yes.
pretty soon you guys are doing a brand new show together.
Wow, we better work on that. though.
We should figure
if we
something
don't have
out.
like our Wonder Twins thing
Well,
going
first
on
off,
yet.
that is serious. I could have gotten
that's
stabbed
my-
by the sword.
that is serious.
The sword
Sword
thing.
ring.
So on the Nerdist channel, what's happening?
So we have a show called 4 Points on the Nerdist channel. It's going to be coming out. I'm just going to say April 30th because that's all I know.
Oh, it's
and-
that soon?
Yeah, right?
I thought it was in May.
No, well, that is
We
technically
have
a
the
day
show
before
coming
May,
out,
but,
yes.
or 2 days. But yeah, no, it's going to be on the Nerdist channel. It's going to be really fun.
It's going to be a big
Good times.
panel discussion show
Yeah.
where we discuss
Things.
on a panel.
Topically.
Topically.
Yeah.
Four
not.
things, perhaps?
Four things,
things, 4
perhaps.
points?
Mehaps.
With 4 people.
Mehaps.
Well.
4 different
Yep.
points of view.
Yes.
Excellent. What are you guys
It's called
really?
5-star.
Anyway, okay, so we're here to talk about American Reunion. Now, let me first say, in the 80s, high school was represented very well by the John Hughes movies like Breakfast Club or 16 Candles.
Now, how do you
or
know that? Were you in high
Ferris
school in the
Bueller.
80s?
I was not in high school
So
in the 80s.
how do we know?
But
The historical record of
Yes.
movies tells us.
I was in high school in the 90s, which was represented on film by movies like Can't Hardly Wait, and then American Pie. So in 1999, American Pie came out, had the heart of the John Hughes movies, but also very vulgar and
Sort of
spawned.
like Hot Dog meets Pretty in Pink.
Yes, there you go.
American
Mashed
Pie.
together.
Spawned a couple sequels with
Two
the
great
cast
movies.
returning, and then from the late, or I guess from the 2000s on
Late
to
dormant.
now, there had just been a stream, I don't know, a stream of direct-to-video sequels.
Yes.
Most of none of the cast, right?
Exactly,
All,
none of the
Band
cast.
Camp and like all these other
Right.
things, yeah.
There
I'm
you
pretty
go.
sure I auditioned for at least 5 of them
Yeah, yeah,
sometime
yeah.
in this city.
It's like the Stifler's brother.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're in high school now, you don't even remember anyway.
Yeah.
No.
So American Reunion, however, is the entire cast returning, like The Big Chill.
Yo.
They didn't
Interesting.
return. I mean, that was just the first movie they were
Yeah.
in. But
I loved the Big
It's like-
Warm.
right.
The Big Warm was great.
But they all
The Little
return
Chill?
for their reunion. It's actually directed. It's the directorial debut of the team. John Hurwitz and Hayden Schlossberg, who wrote the
Yeah, touch me. I have knowledge on my
I
shoulder.
have no idea what he's talking about right now. I didn't know this.
Howard and Kumar series.
Oh, yes.
So it's their directorial debut. They wrote and
White Castle.
directed. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, all 3 of them, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
They wrote them.
Yes, they wrote them.
Got it.
So now they're directing, and so American Reunion, the whole
Yep.
team is back.
Yep.
Allison,
Yeah, yes.
What was your beat on the original American Pie and?
Well, you remember the original American Pie because I think it was that first movie that you got to see that had all that like R-rated stuff in it, but dealt with it in a kid way.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know why I
It
didn't.
was the
air quotes
first.
with
Well,
that.
I think
Well,
it was
it's a
an
child.
R-rated
Yeah.
teen comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you never really like. It was the first film that I remember I got to see without my parents. Not the first film I saw without my parents, but the first film I saw without my parents that had that kind of stuff involved in it. I remember being like, "Oh, this is. I should take notes. This is how I'm supposed to do stuff, right?"
Good God, I hope that
Yeah.
didn't stick.
I'm like, note to self.
So you dug
Stop at a bakery on the way home.
it. So you liked it, or
The original?
Yeah, the
American
original.
Pie? Oh, yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Loved the original American
Yeah.
Pie. And I should say too, the series is.
It was super ballsy.
It was
especially
very
for its
ballsy,
time.
and they all, like the Back to the Future trilogy, like they all follow the same formula, the
Right.
same pattern. They
But
all
there's not
have
a
these
Western
big.
American Pie.
There's no. That's true. Alex wouldn't know that.
I wouldn't.
No,
Never
but
seen the third Back to the Future.
that's I know, it's
No,
crazy.
welcome
It's
to
a whole
Mind Blowing
conversation.
Town.
But
That'd be awesome.
no, the awful thing for
Time wipe and I'll be like, that was great.
Whereas now comedies, the Judd Apatow, they don't really have what the American Pie trilogy had, which was big suspense, comedic, situational
Yes.
sequences.
Right.
They're big, almost action set pieces based around comedic
Yeah.
hilarity that we haven't had recently.
Well, and
I will say
also-
American Reunion brings that back.
Well, I was going to say the Judd Apatow
Yeah.
films also don't have the shock value that American Pie
That's
had. Because
true.
I feel like American
Yeah.
Pie sort of branched into this. Like,
Yeah.
we can get really big and really ridiculous,
Yeah.
and then the Judd Apatow films continued it brilliantly.
I would say the Farrelly brothers started that with
Oh,
something about
yeah, yeah,
Mary and
yeah.
all those, but yes, and then
Yeah.
American Pie. So American Reunion.
Yes.
What did you think?
I think if you've seen the original, it's kind of the perfect nostalgia film. I haven't seen the original in probably since it came out. So what was that, 13 years ago or something?
Yeah, because-
But you're watching American Reunion and you remember all
Yeah.
this stuff. You know, they do a lot of callbacks to some of the lines. You start remembering who the characters were. Stifler is a fucking genius.
Yeah.
I mean, he owns that movie. I feel like when you saw American Pie and you got introduced to Sean William Scott, was that the right three
Yeah,
names
yeah,
in the right
yeah.
order?
Right three names.
Right order.
Right order, yeah.
You know, he kind of, you know he's brilliant, but you kind of see it and go, well, this is all this guy is. And
Yeah.
he's gone on to do some amazing films and can still call back to what he did 13
Yeah.
years ago, which
Yeah.
I think is very impressive.
Yeah. What did
Yeah,
you think?
I think-
And American Pie, you dug American Pie,
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah, a lot. Yeah. You know, it's weird. I was a little worried at the beginning of this movie because I was like, man, comedy has totally changed. We have
Right.
the Judd Apatow, you know, the sort of like really realism, but
Improv-y.
wacky kind of like
Yeah.
the Paul Rudds of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Are now a thing, big
Yeah.
time front and center.
think
But
it's
we
just
also
Paul
have
Rudd.
yeah, right. But we also have The Hangover, Bridesmaids. We have
Right.
that kind of like over-the-top comedy, you know, that is really raunchy and
Right,
you know
right,
very
right,
offensive.
right.
But that you realize as this movie goes along, American Pie was that. Stifler was the Hangover of the movie
Yeah.
back in that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was all of the guys as
In
one.
one.
You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, my only little gripe about this movie is it's I think maybe a little too sentimental. It's really a nostalgic look at the American Pie movie.
It definitely is.
Like, really. And even to the point of, you know, the beginnings of this movie, there weren't a lot of laughs. And I was kind of like, ooh, I'm not laughing a lot. And I know this is an American Pie movie. It should be funny. The laughs come. There are, you know what I mean? Like, there are moments that are high comedy moments that really had me
Right.
defying. But I don't think soup to nuts, it's a chock full of comedy movie, but there are some crazy comedy parts. But really, it's sort of a sweet, sentimental take and you know, look at people who are my age, who
Well,
are now trying to, you know, getting married, having
That's
kids,
what
and
I
all
was
that stuff.
thinking is that I don't know if you are in high school now or just recently out of high school that you would appreciate this film.
Yeah.
Right.
This film is made for...
It's not Project X.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Where
made for
I heard
us.
if you see Project X, you get herpes instantly.
You do. It was amazing. Just getting over it.
American Reunion, you only get crabs.
You don't,
Yeah,
you don't-
yeah.
Unfortunately, you don't get over herpes. Sorry. It's
No.
with-
Oh, I don't get over herpes, I got under herpes.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I shouldn't have. She seemed so nice.
Besides the nostalgia,
Eugene Levy, by the way.
Oh, brilliant.
Eugene Levy,
Brilliant.
amazing.
Him and Stifler.
And Stifler, they really
made the movie.
they made the movie.
Can we also say, I'm just going to throw this out there, kind of an amazing comeback for Chris Klein.
I was actually
he
thinking the
doesn't
same
take himself
thing.
very seriously. He really takes the
Because
piss
believe
out
me,
of
the
it.
last thing we reviewed that had Chris Klein in it was
Street Fighter?
Street Fighter, the
Oh, gosh.
Legend of Kung Lee.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can't.
And then we all saw that, like, his audition video that got out for Mamma Mia or whatever it was.
No, but I can only imagine.
You didn't see it?
I'm
It
just
was,
about to go home and Google it.
Aren't you on the internet?
I will
don't
be
know how
tonight.
you missed it. But it was a pretty
Intense.
train wrecky audition. But what I do have to give him credit for is that he then went and made his own Funny or Die video,
Oh, funny,
making fun
spoofing
of
it.
himself.
That's great.
And that's when I was
smart.
like, okay, you got
Yeah.
me, Chris Klein. And then this movie, I was like,
Yeah,
yep,
he
I'm
was-
in.
yeah.
I'm sold. You're back. You're back, Chris Klein. You're
What
back.
about Mina Savari return? We haven't seen her
I
in a
know.
very long
Yeah,
time.
Tara Reid, we haven't seen
Tara
her in
Reid,
ages.
yeah.
But you know, and most of the guys in this movie you
Yeah,
haven't seen in ages.
yeah.
Yeah. very
You know, I
true.
don't know if I would say this is like, you know, comeback material for them. I think probably they are off on
Maybe comeback
other
material for the
tracks.
for the American Pie franchise. Like maybe now, because this movie might not work for high school kids, but maybe they'll watch the original.
I don't know if it was funny enough for me to need to go to a second.
I can't see there being
nostalgic.
another American reunion.
No. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. Now, aside from the nostalgia that this movie brought up for the American Pie franchise, what did it do? We all kind of grew up around the same area. We were all in high school around the same time.
Yeah.
Give or
Ish.
take.
So much younger than you
Ish.
guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah.
What do you think? What did it do for you in terms of? There's a lot of '90s. I think they used the same soundtrack cues from the first
Yes.
movie
Yeah.
repeated in this one.
I will say I feel like there was one too many Facebook jokes.
Yeah.
They were definitely using Facebook as a like, look, because now we're hip and trendy and this is what we
Yeah.
have to do. And so that was the one thing
But
that was
there
There was pre-cell phone humor.
Yeah, but
and-
and surprisingly that worked for me because I was
Yeah.
like, that would have been what
Yeah.
he was like, I'm using my old tricks.
Right.
So of
Yeah.
course my old trick is, can I use your phone? And you're like, no,
Don't you
none
have
of you
cell
three
phone?
have a cell phone. And it's like, you get why that joke works, rather
Right.
than like, I'm a man from the 80s transported here. You're talking on a phone, crazy witches. You know
Right.
what I mean? Which is like, it's like
That would have
Encino
been really
Man.
weird if they went that
Witches.
way.
Well,
yeah,
Encino Man.
yeah.
Anyway.
So, but there
Yeah.
was a lot of '90s.
I think it was worth. I think
Music
if
was
you
great.
grew up in
Yeah.
that era,
Definitely.
it's worth a watch. And there's some really genuinely funny stuff. Eugene Levy getting stoned with Stifler's mom. The end of that party was genius.
Yeah.
You know, but that was genius. But what was happening with the main characters?
Gotcha.
Funny-ish.
So you're kind of lukewarm, a little funny, and you.
I think for the
mean-
nostalgia train, it's worth
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna say.
But if you're going in just like,
if
I don't
you're
know what
our
this is,
age,
yeah.
which I hate saying, go see the film.
older than
If you're
19.
18,
Yeah.
go see Project X.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And wash.
And yes,
What?
and wear protection.
Unfortunately, still doesn't give it to her.
So, no, I still got it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, there you have it. That is American Reunion,
Yes.
and check out 4 Points. Where can people find you on the internet? You have a Twitter or something you can?
Do I have you follow me?
Well,
You
I'm
know
just
the- you know
saying,
the answer
I'm-
to this question.
I'm-
Yes, I have
I'm-
a Twitter.
That was good interview skills right there.
And your Twitter is?
At Alison Haislip.
There we go.
Allison with one L.
There you go.
Haislip,
It'll be
H-A-I.
lower
No one
Chiron.
spells my name right. Just find me. They
Nice.
both follow me. Follow them and then find me.
There you
Nice,
go.
I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There we
thank you
have
for
it.
joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh,
We
yeah.
punched it
Now
out
we're
now.
doing this.
Oh, we are?
Yep.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, Jeff Canada.
Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones, the television show.
Game of Thrones.
Triumphant return just happened this last week, and so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But you can be on top of what's happening in Game of Thrones even earlier by reading the book.
No.
Clash of Kings. Clash of Kings is what the current season of Game of Thrones is covering, and it's very faithful. Judging by what they did last year, very faithful. The best way I can recommend to digest these is audible.com. Audible.com, the leading provider of downloadable digital audiobooks and spoken word entertainment. They have over 100,000 titles to choose from, every conceivable genre, and you can load them right onto your MP3 player or iPod. I highly, highly, highly recommend. Roy Dotrice is the guy who reads the Game of Thrones series, except for Feast of Crows, which we're not at yet, so don't even worry about that yet. But he did books 1, 2, 3, and 5, and he's spectacular, phenomenal. You will notice that even some of the actors in the show sound like how he did the voice. It's great. You can get that as a free Audible download by our hookup. Go to audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad. Get your free audio book download and start getting hip to that jive. It's really, really a great series and a fun way to listen to it.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, people. Have a good day.
Check us out tomorrow for our thoughts on the Game of Thrones Season 2 premiere.
Today's Twitter question was sent to us by @Dvorak, whose real name is Brian, evidently. He asks, if you were a marketing guy in charge of a game console, what would you call it? We've got the PlayStation, we've got the Xbox, we've got, even fun like
Dreamcast.
GameCube, and even like the old, fictional code names for stuff like Dolphin and
Porpoise face. The Panther. Jaguar.
Dreamcast. Dreamcast is a great name.
Dreamcast is a great
name.
Yeah.
Give me a name. Hit me a name. Alex Albrecht, name it up. The Totally Rad console, of course, is great.
I would go back to the naming convention that I actually knew. This is back sort of like when Intel decided they would change the numbering system from the 586, the 486 is better than the 586.
Yeah.
The other way
Pentium.
around. Well, but then just got into like the I4789-S is better than the I10. Why? That kind of BS. But I would make something up and I would call it the gigaflop.
Well, that's not a. That's an
a
actual
word.
word.
It is a word, but it's not
Sounds
actually
for floating point operation.
Yeah, but it's not actually a number. It's not actually
but all
a
the
number.
headlines when it comes out,
But it would be like, oh my God, does it do
low
the
sales?
gigaflop?
It gigaflopped.
Yeah,
That is true. That is true.
Like you can't call it the bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it bombed.
Yeah, right.
So what do you
with
think?
one.
I don't know. This is what I've been circling. Tell me what you think.
Raspberry.
No, I was thinking Maxon,
Max off.
Max off.
or like, what would be great? Unfortunately, it's already been used as a whatever, but Funcom. You know, like.
Oh, Funcom is the people that make Conan.
I know,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
the
Secret
Funcom.
World.
I feel like, oh, come over play the Funcom. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
How about 1982?
How about Funbox? I would love to play
vagina.
the Funbox. Well,
Wow, was you know how Nintendo was Super Famicom and Super
Yeah.
Famicom?
Yeah.
Was that because family computer?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
what about you, Jeff?
I think the obvious answer is the
obvious
Puma?
one.
the oh shit. What's the name of the thing in Star Trek that they go into the room?
Holodeck?
The holodeck. Just call it the holodeck.
But if it doesn't
not a
do
deck
that, then it's
or
sort of like,
hologram.
what? Hey, come over and play with my holodeck. Really? Well, it's just a box you plug into your TV. Oh.
the Death Star.
Nice. How about the Life Star?
the Life Star.
Anyway,
The Fun Star.
thank you, Dvorak.
Oh,
Maxicom.
This is why we don't work in marketing.
Maxicom.
Maxicom.
That sounds like
Cutco.
an
Like,
80s, like some
tech, like Skynet, Maxicom,
email
and
product in the drugstore.
also that.
You can put it in your fun box.